Hello again, Shotzi here, Andrew Shaw. Now, the fourth installment of this portrait of a mystery person. I suspect some of you have identified at least whom I'm trying to paint. This is sort of a stage of fine-tuning. While I was doing this painting, I was feeling at the moment that I had the basic shape of the person in their face, and I had the basic structure and the location of the landmarks of the face, eyes, nose, mouth. As it went on, I started to realize, no, I'm not quite there. So right now I'm using a small detail brush with an assumption that I've got the overall shape pretty good. So I'm moving into the eyes, getting into the detail now. It's a part I love doing. But I usually reserve that to a time when I feel I've got the basic structure. As I've said many times, I believe it is the basic structure that's far more important in achieving likeness than the details. Details are good, but without the proper structure. Here I decide to make the background darker, certainly consistent with what Rembrandt would do. Almost all of his backgrounds when he did his portraiture were quite dark. Often so dark in certain spots that it was hard to tell where the structure ended and where the background started. It just helps me see the overall structure a little more clearly. So there we have the background. I can go over as many times as I want. You'll notice now I have a bigger brush again. And I think what happened is I determined that the structure wasn't where I wanted it to be. There's something was bugging me about the way I had this laid out. So back to the bigger brush. Let's not worry about details. And let's now look again to larger shapes, larger light shapes, larger dark shapes, focusing more on temperature, warm, cool, versus color. Still keeping in mind color, but much more focused on the overall dynamic. And I keep moving around a lot, not worried about going over detail that I've already worked at. I've said on many occasions that to achieve likeness, you have to be willing to paint over things and accept that it's not where I want it to be right now, either this landmark or this line. Let me get it more accurate and not be overcommitted to what I've put down previously. Trying to move all around, looking at some of the relationships between this place or that place. I'm flipping back and forth, bringing in some detail, but still not completely satisfied that I have the overall structure. And you'll see either in this installment or next, I make some bolder moves in changing the structure. Nonetheless, I am feeling pretty good about that there is some similarity between my painting and the person I'm trying to represent. Though there's something that is not allowing me to be fully content. And as I've talked about many, many times, I don't stay in any one spot at one time. I try to work for a bit and then move, work for a bit, then move. So I'm always connected to the whole and not too bogged down. It's only once I really feel the whole is where it should be, then I can now really zoom in and spend time getting the finer details. You'll see on the side of the face that is getting more of the light, which is The right side of my painting, the figure's left side, the colors tend to be warmer. There's red, there's orange, there's yellow. On the other side, it's a bit more gray, blue, green. And even in the neck, which is receiving very little light, the colors are a bit cooler. Decided to do one more round in the background, get it even darker. You notice as I do this, where the hair starts and stops and where the background is a little bit blurred, a little bit tough to discern. I am not unhappy about that. And for those of you who know Rembrandt, it's a very common trait where he has edges that make it difficult to determine where one thing starts and where one thing stops. Just pay attention to the hair, back down to the suit, just to get a little more, keeping things at the same pace, the background staying in the same level of sophistication or detail as the rest of the painting. So it all kind of fits together. Putting in some darks in the shirt, a little bit more with his ear, a little indentation in between the lips and the nose. All right, that's it for this fourth installment. Please stay tuned. There will be more soon. Thank you.